Picture a Japanese senior. What comes to mind? A frugal elder, right? Someone saving every single penny, just sitting on a massive mountain of wealth. Well, I'm here to tell you that this common sense, we all believe, it is completely, absolutely wrong. Get ready for a major reality check because we're diving into an explainer today that completely shatters the great Japanese savings myth.
So, do Japanese elderly really hoard all the wealth? For decades, top experts pushed this exact narrative, and honestly, the public just swallowed it whole. We all pictured older folks stashing away absolute fortunes for the next generation. But guess what? It was a total illusion. A massive, data-driven mirage that completely hid a really terrifying reality.
Here is the face-slapping truth. Negative 31.3%. Yeah, you heard that right. By 2008, retired households over age 60 weren't saving money. They were bleeding cash. Every single year, they were spending nearly a third more than their disposable income. They are literally draining their life savings year after year just to survive.
So, how did we get this so backwards? Let's get right into Section 1, Why Experts Were Wrong, and do a quick autopsy of this data disaster.
The real issue was the lens economists were looking through. The old macro view looked at the whole country from above, almost like a blurry wide-angle lens, making it look like the elderly were happily saving. But when you zoom in, the real micro view shows the exact opposite. Retired folks on the ground are rapidly going broke.
How did they miss this? Well, there were three fatal flaws in the data. First, they surveyed extended families all together. So Grandpa's empty wallet, totally hidden by his son's high salary. Second, they mixed working seniors with retired ones. Working people save, retirees spend, you just can't mix them. And third, they completely ignored older folks living alone who are actually the poorest group. Just erased them from the record entirely. When you finally strip away all that garbage data, a super simple reality emerges. It's called the earn young, spend old rule. No fancy academic jargon here, guys. It's just common sense. You make money when you work, and you drain your bank account when you retire. It is basic human survival, and it's exactly what's really happening in Japan. Now for Section 2, Shocking Dissaving. Let's look at the hard data.
Just look at this terrifying plunge. This is the savings rate for retired household heads over 65. In the year 2000, it was negative 8.8%. Already pretty bad, right? Well, fast forward to 2004, negative 23.2%. And by 2008, a staggering negative 25.5%. The financial bleeding didn't just start, it accelerated wildly. It is totally out of control.
I want you to really think about the emotional shock of this. Imagine your current monthly income. Now imagine a quarter to a third of it just vanishing. Poof, gone, every single year. You are literally forced to cannibalize your past savings just to pay for your present. That is the daily, grinding nightmare for millions of Japanese retirees right now.
Which brings us to Section 3, Who Emptied the Wallets? Let's look at the root cause of all this. So where exactly did all this wealth disappear to between 2000 and 2008? The system essentially squeezed them dry. Look at this breakdown. 45% of that vanished wealth was eaten up by massive government pension cuts. Another 30% devoured by rising taxes and social insurance premiums. The final 25% went straight to skyrocketing medical bills and basic living costs. They are under attack from every side. And check this out. Plus 59.5%. That is the staggeringly insane increase in what the government calls non-living expenditures in just 8 short years. We are talking about direct taxes and social insurance premiums here. The mandatory absolute bare minimum cost of just existing in the system skyrocketed.
Now here's a totally counterintuitive reality, a real cruel irony. In 2000, Japan introduced a public long-term care insurance system. You would think, hey, that helps seniors, right? Wrong. The exact opposite happened. It triggered an absolute explosion in out-of-pocket medical costs and mandatory premiums. So a well-meaning public policy actually drained their wallets even faster.
Let's pivot to Section 4, Flaws in the Research, for a quick critique of the data itself.
To be fair, even this new data has a few blind spots. It uses gross income instead of net, sure, but the real kicker, it completely ignores massive real estate wealth. Most Japanese seniors own their homes outright. Now, housing is wealth, absolutely. But let's be real. You can't eat a house. You can't pay a hospital bill with bricks, right?
If we actually calculated the hidden mechanics of that trapped housing wealth, the financial bleeding would probably look far worse on paper.
And that brings us to our final part, Section 5, Zero Savings Warning. This is the climax of the whole situation.
Listen, this isn't just about a few seniors having trouble balancing their checkbooks. This is a massive demographic time bomb. Japan's population is aging at the absolute fastest rate in human history. We are watching millions of people shift from wealth-saving workers to cash-burning retirees at breakneck speed.
And the national impact? Devastating. Japan used to be the absolute envy of the world, right? A legendary saving powerhouse. But by 2007, the national household saving rate had already plummeted to a terrifying 3%. Think about that. The entire country's bank account is basically running dry.
So as the research warns, Japan's household saving rate will soon become zero or even negative, which has massive ramifications for global imbalances. We are literally staring down a future where an entire nation's savings rate hits rock bottom. So here's the question I'll leave you with today. When the world's former savings giant completely runs out of cash, how violently will that destabilize the rest of the global economy? Something to think about.